to Sarah Gilbert and Rory Smith in letting us know what is the crack. The Inland Waterways Association of Ireland, the Newry and Portadown branch. I'm joined by Peter Maxwell, the chairman of the local branch. That's the Newry and Portadown branch. Peter, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Rowan. I'm great.
Great. You're looking healthy, good and wise and well, all of those things. What a catalogue of compliments you've been paid this morning. What's the week been like on the water?
Just working away. That's possibly why I look a bit healthy, because we're working outside, out in the fresh air and so on.
Yes.
So what's happening at the moment? Well, strange enough, we're up at lock number 2, Riley's Lock.
Yes.
Some of the sluices were damaged there by vandals, of course.
Really?
This happened, over the years, over the 20 years.
Is there less of it now?
Oh, there's far less now. Definitely is, yes.
That's progress.
We found one broken drink bottle in the area.
Yeah.
Now, in the locks inside the fencing when we were up there. That's such a change. And the dog muck, there's nowhere near the same dog muck in that vicinity.
Yeah,
it's marvellous, you know.
Do you begin to see, your branch begin to see these years further down the road? What is it, 5, 6 years now? How many years have you been in the branch, all working together?
Well, the branch started 9 years ago.
9 years,
and a
that's
half,
what I thought. That sort of time, almost 10 years
but
ago.
We've only been working on the canal since 2008.
Yeah, 6 years ago. Do you see a discernible difference that makes you feel we're doing the right thing, we're on the right course, we will continue?
Well, all the locks are visible now. You can see all the ivy and trees and bushes and gorse and all that sort of stuff has been removed from every single lock along the canal now. There's only one is a little bit not quite right, and that's way out past Scarva, because access is dangerous to it, and so we've got to be very careful.
You have a good relationship with the local authority and with the statutory bodies. What's the relationship like with folk you come across, like the local farmers? What do they think of the whole development?
It was quite interesting. One of the first work parties we did was on Canal Bank. It's a road, a public highway.
Yes.
But there is a lot of trouble with cyclists not getting out of the way of the residents who are driving along.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the road is too narrow for a cyclist and a resident in their car at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can see there's going to be an argument. But anyway, as we were working there at Waddles Lock, we were cutting down some quite substantial trees. And everybody came past and said, "Oh, that looks so much nicer now. That's marvellous. That's great." Except for one. Now, we don't know if this person was a resident or not, but they said, "What are you doing there?" And one of the members said, "Oh, we're cutting down the trees here to tidy this up, to make it look better." He says, "That means even more people on this bloody path." And he says, not only that, he says, "I suppose we'll end up with that bit of water full of boats as well."
Oh my God.
He says, "That's the last thing in the world I want to see."
Oh yeah. He's probably died by now.
I would think so.
And
yes,
thanks,
yes.
People like that should be dead and go on to some sort of eternal reward in a purgatory full of whimpering and cantankerous old gits.
Well, that's it, But obviously, we tried to explain to him that it would improve the environment and everything else. And he just said to bring more people along the path, and that caused nothing but trouble.
I'm sure that poor man, he has had a lifetime of hurt with people.
He must have had.
God love him, bless him. Yes. Now, of course, we know what it's doing to the physicality of the area. The possibility, as the man said, dear bless him, of more people, more boats. That stretch of water through from the Victoria Lock and the Ship Canal all the way through Newry up into the inland navigation as far as it goes. What is it saying about wildlife in our midst, the world of nature?
Oh, there's loads of it along the canal. Obviously you get the ordinary kingfishers, and I call them ordinary now because there are so many of them along the canal.
Goodness.
You basically walk anywhere along the canal and you'll see kingfishers. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And we have evidence of otters in the area, some of the areas, 2 different sections of the canal. Well, there are mink, unfortunately, we know that.
And they'll take the otters out.
They'll take everything.
Everything,
That's the problem. They've got nasty teeth.
Yeah. I remember seeing, is the otter, I saw the populated part of the Carlingford Marina.
Oh, yeah.
And the freshwater pipe that came down from the land. The otter would be there, and they'd come out of the pipe, and they'd go down, and you'd see them go into the seawater, and they'd go under and they'd go out, and then they'd come up again. They'd be lying back, sort of scratching their chests and the like.
Oh, they'll pick up a shell, like a cockle shell or something like that, and they'll lie on their backs, and they're quite clever. They'll get a stone and put that between the 2 front legs, and then they get a hold of the shell, and they bang it against the stone, not against their chest, to
Yeah.
crack it.
Yeah.
And then you'll see them actually eating it.
Yeah.
I have never seen this in real life. I've seen it on
but
TV.
Yes. But we've seen what we have seen in real life, where the seagull, the gulls, not the seagulls, the gulls, because there's no such thing as seagulls.
Not anymore.
You have gulls.
Yes.
They will take a mussel and they will go high and they'll drop it down onto the road.
Yes.
The shell will shatter to smithereens, and the gull has its lunch.
Yes.
And
Yes. It's
happens.
marvellous to see that. They're
Yeah.
so clever, you know. Yeah.
The strength of the branch at the moment is good. Yes.
Oh yes. We're always a good bunch of members. It's way over 40 now. It's
yeah.
nearly the 50 mark.
And these are people who, as a body, go out
Oh, yes.
and do work.
Well, we have some people obviously who are getting to the stage where they're not really fit for coming out to work. So, but they'll turn up at meetings and we discuss matters and that sort of thing. They can help with the tea.
That's,
you know,
and
that
it's
sort of
nice to have that parliament of people who have had the experience and are there to bestow an element of wisdom upon the assemblage. That's all good there. I have, and I continue to talk about it, just remembering the early days of long before there ever was a towpath. We went on the first day. Pat Jennings, I think, came with us all those years ago, and we hacked our way through the undergrowth to get from Newry to Scarva.
Yes.
And in the pub at Scarva, we had a Berco boiler full of tea, and we had a pot full of stew and all the rest of it. It was a huge experience.
Pat Jennings did some sponsored stuff along the towpaths,
Oh, he
I
would have
believe.
done.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
he would have
walks
done.
or runs.
Yeah.
But Rowan, what I was actually saying at the beginning there about working at Riley's Lock is that we knew this sluice was damaged, and we've made a new part for it. You see, but there's a big nut. And we had to find out, well, we'll get one made, but we needed the other bit of the rod. The guy making it, he wanted it. So we lifted it out. And it's a thing 14, 15 foot long.
Yes.
And with no idea, and I've been onto Waterways Ireland and British Waterways and a couple of other gate companies to try and find out, could we buy a replacement nut for this thing, because it's special. And lo and behold, we took the thing out, and the manufacturer's name, which is only a plastic sticker, is stuck on to the bit of plastic which the sluice is made of. And we're still there, and totally legible.
And how long ago would that have been put there?
20 years ago.
My goodness.
Yes.
And you now know where to get the
Yes, I looked it up on the internet. I have their
there.
address. I sent them an email.
Yeah.
And if they don't get word back this afternoon, I'm going to telephone them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're looking at the photographs, they have exactly the same parts.
Yeah.
And this is marvellous to think, though, that the mud can preserve stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And this is why the heritage people, Northern Ireland Environment Agency, Built Heritage, are concerned about dredging and this sort of thing in the lock chambers, because they think there might be artifacts from a previous era down there.
But if there are artifacts, any spoil from the dredging is going to be sifted and analysed.
Yes. If you're going to do proper dredging on some sections of it, we would have to actually have an archaeologist on site.
Yeah.
That's what they always stipulated. They're a bit more lax now because they realise that we act responsibly.
Oh, yeah,
That if we find something we're not sure of, this has never occurred,
Yeah.
but they know that we will actually contact them because we found bits of structure that we couldn't understand.
Yes.
And contacted them straight away.
And that, So in terms of the association itself, nationwide, what are the things that are happening? Are there rallies coming up, or what are the hot things with the association at the moment?
There was a small boat gathering, I would call it, rather than a rally up at Lisburn last weekend, because there was a fun day on in Lisburn. But I think only 8 boats turned up at it, unfortunately. It was a bit of a shame. But no, the summer's basically over now. I mean, they have the big Shannon rally, which 110 boats in it or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, 500 people.
Will you take your own boat out of the water from the canal for the winter?
Oh yes.
important
She's
to
only
do that.
she's only a plastic boat, so if it
yeah.
freezes, you're in trouble. It's not the freezing that's the trouble. It's if you're sitting in the water with, say, an inch of ice all around you, and someone comes past in a metal boat.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not like the films with the icebreakers.
No.
What happens is it cracks the ice and
the
pushes
ice
it sideways,
and it cuts.
and it would then cut into the side of my boat.
Goodness.
So
Not a
we
good
can't have that.
idea.
No, it's too big a risk.
Peter, you're open for membership. If people want to
Yes.
join you, what's the website?
Well, the best thing to do is just Google IWAI Newry and Portadown.
IWAI at Newry.
No, just Google IWAI
Yeah.
Newry and Portadown.
You get it.
Yeah, and because you'll come up with our name
Okay.
within the first 2 or 3. You might get some spurious adverts at the beginning, as one does
Yep.
with Google. But
Okay.
the other thing is that we're just starting tomorrow, is the summit level, which is from Campbell's Lock just north of Scarva, right to Points Pass. Now that's all one level. It should be the same level right the way through. And we want to try and get gates onto that.
Yeah.
So the problem has always been it'll cause flooding. Now the gates are going to cost, say, 100,000.
Yep.
Now we don't want to start approaching people for money if you're going to put them on and it floods. So what we're starting to do from tomorrow is we're building a temporary dam at each end out of sandbags, and that will raise the level 3 feet.
Yes.
And then we'll see what happens. We'll monitor that then for a series of weeks. We did the same down at Moneypenny's Lock at
Yes.
Craigavon more recently, and it worked all right there. So
Yeah.
we're experimenting with this, and that's all it is. If there's severe flooding, the sandbags aren't a problem. You just get a sharp knife,
Yeah,
slit them,
of course, and that's
and
the-
the level will drop again.
it will,
So the Rivers Agency allow us to do that. The Environment Agency are allowing us to do
That's
it.
good.
The
Good
councils are no
progress.
problem with
Yeah.
it, because we intend to get water right through Scarva.
Yeah, you're building a knowledge base.
Well, it's not just a knowledge base. The intention is to, if this works, we will
take it
start
forward.
getting taking it forward to get the funding.
Peter Maxwell, thank you.
Right, Ron.
And that's IWAI,
Aye.
Newry and Portadown.
Yes, and that's what you'll
Go and join them. It's great fun.
Certainly
Become
it is.
part of the family of the natural world on the Newry Inland Navigation and the Newry Ship Canal.
Now,
Andrew.
just